Yes, welcome to Bikes of Rye and welcome to my review of this quirky little electric scooter. This is called a NIU, and I know it doesn't look like it's spelt NIU, but apparently that's how you pronounce it. And this is the NQI GTS. And yes, this is a fully electric scooter. It's a Chinese electric scooter, and what we're going to do in this review is firstly I'm going to take you for a walk around of this scooter, and then we'll jump aboard, take it for a spin, and then at the end of the video I'll give you a quick summary and share with you my full thoughts and opinions. So I guess let's get going with the walk around. And so I'll demonstrate the alarm, shall I? So yes, it's alarmed. Let me just disarm that. So it's a nice feature. So what you need to do is press this red button on the key fob, and this will fire up the colour display. It's a bit wet, sorry, very cold out today. Yeah, so I'll show you in detail. So you've got your miles per hour here, you've got your battery percentage remaining, so 90% in this case, 29 miles remaining, and yeah, you've got your time, temperature outside, and this is your kilowatts. That's basically your power, time, distance, and all the rest of it on there too. This button here, this will toggle between the different modes. So you've got sport, and you've got e-save. I've currently just got it in dynamic. This green button here is basically what you press if you're ready to go. This is your lights, horn, and we've got cruise control. 14-inch wheels, front to back. Got 3 piston calipers. Interesting feature on this scooter is the fact that the brakes are linked. So when you apply the rear brake, you get front brakeage too. This is your Bosch motor. That's basically your engine. That's what propels you forward, and so it's pretty cool that it's fixed or basically incorporated into the rear wheel. So if you look in there, there is nothing going on, no combustion engine. Guess you want to see what it looks like under the seat. So let's open up that, and what you have here is a huge battery. This battery takes up a lot of the space, which is basically a trade-off because you now lose some storage space, but this is basically all your storage space remaining. And then let me just remove the key from the ignition, because you actually have 2 batteries, and then what you do is you just twist this one here, and then what that does, let me just draw it down slightly, lift this mat, you have the second battery under here. Now I did weigh both of these batteries because I was curious to know how much they weighed, so I popped them on the bathroom scales, and they were just over 12 kilograms each. Interestingly, the batteries are that heavy, it basically makes up roughly 25% of the total weight of the scooter. Put that back down again. Up ahead you've got this nice ring light, LED bulbs. It does say smart, let me just go here, it does say smart LED lighting, not sure why it's smart. Obviously it's on the center stand, which comes as standard. This is a better view of the rear motor and your rear suspension too, so you've got springs both sides. And do you know what, I actually love the looks of this scooter. It's kind of 80s looking, but futuristic at the same time. Here's your indicators, obviously your fly screen, and that's about it. And of course, yeah, you've got some rear pegs here. I don't know if they fold out or whatnot, I'm sure they do, for your rear passenger. Yeah, so how about we jump on and take it for a spin. Now, because we don't of course have an engine, what you need to do with this is, that's your starter button, basically this green button, and now we can see we are ready and we're good to go. So for full transparency, this is the first electric scooter or electric powered motorcycle that I've ridden, and this was lent to me for a couple of weeks, and so it is the second time I've ridden this little quirky scooter. And I have to say, now this is the second time I've been out on it, I've got somewhat a little bit more used to it. Now you might say, well, how do you mean get used to it? The first time I rode this, it was a weird sensation because it just doesn't seem normal. That it's almost like it's not propelled by anything. Like it's just, the sensation is as if it's coasting down a hill at all times, because it makes little to no sound. And so I was like, this is weird. But here we are. Now I've got used to it, I am sort of appreciating it that bit more, and I can completely get it. You know what, it's like very, very nippy. Like I feel like I jumped on it now to nip out to do this review, and it I just get about with ease. Like, can you not tell like how I'm just like, I'm not exactly going a million miles an hour, but I just feel like I'm getting about so quickly on it. But anyway, let's talk about it, yeah? Let's talk about its, I guess, dynamics. So there is a feature on this, and I did mention it, I hope I did mention it on the walk around, that the brakes are linked. And so what I'm finding I'm doing is literally just using the back brake, because it applies the front brake too. And I think that is brilliant, because it just means that it leaves my right hand to just control the accelerator, and then I can literally, because the brakes are so sharp, I can just one finger the back brake. Now you can pop it into e-save if you want to preserve the battery. We're now at 88%, as we can see, but I really think this is pretty useless, because it limits you to 15 miles an hour. I'm not sure you're going to use it very much. I mean, even in town now, I feel like I'm going that bit too slow. I almost feel like e-save should be maybe 20 miles an hour, not 15. And then if you pop it into sports mode, sorry, I'm trying to do this with my, I guess I could do it with my thumb, kind of. Why am I using my left hand to do it? So anyway, we're in sports, and this is now the full whack, full power, and it's kind of the equivalent of, I mean, in brake horsepower terms, this supposedly puts out 4 brake horsepower, and I think it is nippy. As I mentioned, it feels nippy enough, and I've had like 50 miles an hour out of this top speed, which is quite impressive, really. I mean, they do say on the site that it's a 125 equivalent. I'm not sure it is, but what I would say, it's I guess it's in between like a 50cc and a 125cc, so maybe it's, let's say, an 80cc bike. But this is strictly urban only, and what I mean by urban is that you're not allowed, or it's not advised, that you go on a highway or the motorway. I mean, the max speed of 50 miles an hour on the UK motorway, I wouldn't say that's exactly that safe. And to be honest, you don't get an awful lot of range out of these batteries anyway. I mean, it's suggesting I've got 50 miles left in the range. All depend on how you ride it. If you're maxing it out at 50 miles an hour, I don't think you're going to go an awful long way. Now let's talk about the handling, the dynamics of this scooter. I really want to emphasize how nimble it really feels. Now the batteries, they are quite hefty, but you just cannot tell. It feels so light and agile. You can just dart about, like, you can change direction so quick on it, and being in sport mode, it's got quite a bit of punch as well, and so it doesn't really hesitate, at least up to about 30 miles an hour. It just seems to be easily quick enough to keep up with traffic. Overall, I think it feels really well put together. It feels solid, like I'm not hearing any dodgy noises. Now you have to consider that because there's no engine and it's ever so quiet, you would expect to hear creaks and bangs, you know, plastics maybe squeaking, and you don't hear anything. But you know what, because this is a scooter, really think about it now, yeah? Can you imagine yourself riding around on a 50cc or 125cc engined or combustion engined motorcycle scooter and it screaming away? I love the fact that this is so quiet. Because it's not making any noise, it's not annoying me, and I don't feel like an idiot going down the road with it revving at 11,000 RPM while I'm doing 30 miles per hour. And you know, suspension wise, I mean, it's basic suspension, but it's not crashing and banging like I've ridden other scooters, and the suspension seems just too hard and sporty. This is what you would expect. This is what I would hope to expect riding a scooter. It's not a sporty machine. I'm not carving corners. Don't want to go on a racetrack with it, obviously. And so I don't see the need for the suspension to be rock solid as you find on other scooters. And the thing is as well, because it's so quiet and making no noise, I'm talking to you guys on the camera and people are looking at me and wondering, who am I talking to? Because they could easily hear me. That's a little speed test, yeah, look. Acceleration test. We're in sport mode, see, so it gets up to 30, a lot quicker than you would get from, like, say, a 50cc scooter. Do you know what I feel like? I feel like a nippy little commuter. I've got my rucksack on, I'm nice and warm, and I'm just nipping about, getting from A to B sharpish, no messing around. And you know, all for 1p a mile, apparently. That's how much it costs in electricity. 1p a mile. And you know, the throttle, right? I love the fact that it's so instant. Like, as soon as you give it a twist, off it goes. Like, national speed limit sign here. Let's see what we can get it up to. It should do 50. There we go, 51. See? Oh, it's creeping up. We're breaking speed limits here. We better be careful. Any higher than 60 and we're in big trouble. Okay, quick summary then. I actually love the new NQI. You know, I have a lot of time for it. Why? Well, because it somehow manages to be so convenient to get about locally on. It literally is as easy as a push bike to ride and almost feels as light as one on the move too. The 2-year warranted batteries are easily removed, meaning you can replace them over time and can be charged away from the scooter. Being electric means it doesn't require an oil change, filters or spark plugs, so it's very low maintenance. And dare I say it, coupled with the looks, makes it feel modern and futuristic as you get about. However, it is on the pricey side for a scooter. You would have to do thousands of miles to make up for a saving over a petrol alternative. As for practicality, this isn't great either since it lacks storage space, and it is worth highlighting that charging time is 4 to 6 hours and you can only charge one battery at a time, so it might get a little tiresome after a while. Ultimately, I think this electric powered NIU is brilliant. If I had the space, I would very likely have one myself to nip about on. If you were looking for a flashy, very cheap to run, get about town or city scooter, you seriously need to consider this new NQI. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and with that said, I'm going to end this one here. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you on another one very soon.